You have a number in your head. Maybe it's 1.5 million, maybe it's 2 million. It's the number that you believe is your ticket to a secure, worry-free retirement. But let me ask you a question. When the market drops 2%, do you feel 2% less secure? When you see a headline about inflation, does that number in your head suddenly feel smaller? If you answered yes, then that number, it's not giving you security, it's holding you hostage. You're focusing on something that you have absolutely no control over, the market and the economy. And it's keeping you in a perpetual state of anxiety, always feeling like you're just one more year away from being safe. And that's exactly why we're making this video today, to show you why chasing numbers like $1.5 million can trap you in endless accumulation and how a lifestyle-first planning enables retirement with confidence, regardless of arbitrary targets. Today, we're going to break that cycle. Let's get right into it. Breaking that cycle doesn't happen by finding a better number. It happens with a fundamental shift in how you view retirement itself. It's a shift built on 4 core principles that will move you from a state of anxiety to a state of control. The first principle is understanding the arbitrary number trap. So what is the arbitrary number trap? It's the belief that a big number like 1.5 million is the magic bullet for retirement. The problem? It's always a moving goalpost. You see, according to the 2025 annual retirement study from the Allianz Center for the Future of Retirement, 64% of pre-retirees worry about running out of money more than they worry about death, and 62% said that they're not saving as much for retirement as they would like to. When these people were asked why, most respondents cited high inflation, Social Security not providing as much financial support as they need, and higher taxes than expected. When you feel like you can't control the outside world, what do? You focus on the one thing that you think you can control, which is that savings number. You just keep trying to make it bigger and bigger and bigger, hoping that a large number will finally make you feel safe. This is the trap. It becomes a moving goalpost, a finish line that moves further and further away the closer that you get to it, all because of external fears. This number-focused planning completely overlooks the strategic approaches that can make you ready to retire right now with the resources that you already have. Now that you understand why the arbitrary number trap can delay retirement, let's discuss the lifestyle equation approach that shows how to plan retirement around what actually matters. So, what is the alternative to picking a number like 1.5 million as your retirement savings goal? Instead of starting with an abstract number, start by designing the retirement you actually want to live. Ask specific questions. Do you want to travel internationally twice a year? Do you want to buy an RV to explore national parks? Each of these decisions has a real tangible cost. Designing your retirement around these desired activities and experiences is what reveals your true financial requirements. Because it focuses on funding the life that you want rather than accumulating an abstract number, a lifestyle-first planning approach often reveals that you need less savings than generic calculators recommend. Research by financial planning experts at Morningstar identified a phenomenon known as the retirement spending smile. It shows that retiree spending is not a straight line. It's typically highest in the early, more active years and then decreases significantly in the middle years before rising again slightly at the very end due to healthcare costs. Most online calculators inflate your budget by assuming you'll spend at your peak spending level for 30 straight years. But understanding your actual spending patterns allows you to create a realistic budget, not just some arbitrary inflated one. Now that we just covered how the lifestyle equation gives you the most important number, what you need to retire, it doesn't really answer another important question though. When should you retire? Finding that answer requires understanding the next principle, which is important because it's the only one that money can't solve. What we're talking about is the time value reality. The hard fact is that your health and energy will decline with age, regardless of additional financial accumulation. Longevity researchers often talk about the difference between your lifespan and your health span. Your lifespan is how long you live, but your health span is how long you live in good health, free from limiting diseases. For many, that health span ends years before their lifespan. So why is this so critical to understand? Because the retirement experiences that you dream about, whether it be hiking the Grand Canyon, playing on the floor with your grandkids, exploring a new city on foot, all of this requires a level of physical capability that cannot be restored once it's lost, no matter how much money you have. Each year of delayed retirement trades irreplaceable time for marginal financial gains. The opportunity cost of just one last year of a healthy retirement at age 63 can far exceed the benefit of an extra $50,000 at age 69. Experiences in relationships require an investment of time, and that time is a non-renewable source. You can always find alternatives to make your money work harder, but time has no substitute. The timing window to create those memories with your family, it's finite, and additional wealth cannot reopen that. So now that you understand the importance of knowing why your time and value is an important situation to understand, if you're wondering how to escape that arbitrary number trap and plan a retirement around what actually matters, click the link below to book a call and see if we can help you develop a personalized retirement strategy for your situation. So at this point, the logical question is, if my time is truly this valuable, how do I build a plan that lets me claim it back sooner? How can I possibly have that confidence to step away without the giant nest egg? And the answer to that lies in our final principle. It's the how that makes the why possible. And that is the strategic asset mix. So what strategies enable confident retirement without having a massive number? It's about having the right tools for the job. For example, taxable savings in a brokerage account can become a powerful tool, providing flexible income for early retirement years before you turn 59 and a half, so you don't incur the penalties of an early 401k withdrawal. Roth strategies and conversions, they can create a bucket of tax-free income, which is a game changer, right? Roth accounts effectively reduce your total portfolio size that you need to generate for your desired lifestyle. That's because you don't have to factor in taxes or income penalties on healthcare expenses and Social Security benefits. Now, combining these with a strategic withdrawal sequence, knowing which account to pull from when, this is how you optimize for taxes and dramatically extend your portfolio's longevity. Why does a strategic planning prove more effective than just saving more? Because it's not about how much you have, it's about how much you keep. Lincoln Financial Group once surveyed 250 recent retirees and asked, in terms of expenses, what's the biggest surprise in retirement? You know what the number one answer was? Taxes. Overestimated the cost of their healthcare in retirement. They actually tended to underestimate the expense of taxes. And despite the significant impact that taxes have on the respondent's income, a surprising portion of the retirees were unfamiliar with the specifics of their tax status. That brings us back to the beginning of the video, right? Where not understanding your numbers can lead to that arbitrary number trap. Tax optimization through smart asset allocation can significantly increase your spendable retirement income without you having to save an extra dime. A well-structured plan with flexible withdrawal strategies allows you to adapt to market conditions, like pulling from cash reserves in a down year, for instance. This can extend your portfolio's life far more effectively than simply adding more money to a poorly structured, tax-inefficient account. Now, let's see what this looks like when you put it all together. Let me tell you about a couple named Mark and Susan. At age 62, they had $1.5 million in various retirement savings accounts, and they were caught deep in that arbitrary number trap. They felt ready to retire, but their plan was just a simple mix of stocks and bonds, and they had no idea how to turn that into a reliable paycheck. They were terrified of what taxes and a potential market downturn could do to their portfolio. So, we went through Mark and Susan's essential and discretionary expenses. Understanding what they were looking for in a retirement lifestyle was an important exercise for them. It also helped them understand what they need on a yearly basis from their retirement portfolio with those essential expenses versus what they want to spend to make retirement worth living, right? Once we applied that lifestyle equation through understanding their expenses, we calculated what their initial portfolio income needs was. We often refer to that as a PIN, and found out it was $65,000 a year after taxes. Your portfolio income needs is calculated by tallying up your total desired annual spending in retirement, and then from that, you subtract all of your other predictable income sources like a pension or Social Security, and then the number that's left over is your PIN, and that's the amount that you need to withdraw from your portfolio each year. Back to Martin and Susan, looking at their simple unstructured portfolio, it wasn't clear if they could generate that income reliably, which is why they felt like they needed to work longer and get a bigger portfolio. But their plan wasn't in a shortfall, it just needed to be strengthened. So instead of saving more, we focused on action. First, we applied a smarter investment allocation. We moved 2 years of their income needs, $130,000, into cash, creating a buffer that immediately insulated them from any stock market volatility. Their income for the next 2 years was now secure. Next, we built a smarter withdrawal strategy. For the first few years of retirement, they would live off their cash buffer and pull any additional money from their taxable brokerage account. Why? Because doing this keeps their official taxable income extremely low. This opened up a massive opportunity. With their income low, we could begin strategically converting funds from their traditional IRA into a Roth IRA at a very low tax rate. This tax planning was the key. It allowed them to build a bucket of tax-free income for later in life, dramatically reducing their lifetime tax bill and taxes on their Social Security benefits. Finally, this strategy informed their Social Security timing decision. Because they could live comfortably on their taxable savings for the first few years, they could afford to delay filing for Social Security until their full retirement age of 67. That strategic delay permanently increased their future benefits, creating a larger inflation-adjusted stream of income for the rest of their lives. So let's look at the results, right? By structuring their investments, creating a tax-efficient withdrawal plan, and maximizing Social Security, we built a system that could generate that $65,000 of after-tax income with a high degree of confidence for the foreseeable future. This allowed them to enjoy their go-go years of retirement without the anxiety of running out of money. They went from a state of fear with $1.5 million to a state of confidence with that exact same amount. They didn't need a bigger pile of money. They just needed a better strategic plan. Imagine that feeling. You wake up, you see that the market's down, and you feel nothing. No panic, no anxiety, because your income for the next 2 years is sitting in cash, untouched, and you have a plan for your taxes, a plan for your healthcare. You're no longer a passenger, hoping that the market takes you where you want to go. You're the pilot. And that is true financial freedom. It's that confidence, that added confidence that comes from knowing that you focused on everything you can control. So now that you understand why aiming for arbitrary numbers like 1.5 million can often delay retirement, and how a lifestyle-first planning with strategic implementation strategy enables a confident retirement, you can escape that numbers trap and focus on what actually matters. If you want help developing a lifestyle-first retirement strategy, click on the link below to book your call, and we'll help you design a retirement around what you actually want rather than what calculators say that you need. Until next time, take care.